If your business has a website, and whose doesn't these days, then this is for you. We're going to talk about digital accessibility. It's this super important and legally required step to make sure your online doors are open to absolutely everyone. So let's break down what you really need to know.
Let me ask you a simple question. Imagine your physical store didn't have a wheelchair ramp. You'd be turning away customers, right? It seems so obvious. Well, in the digital world, your website is your new storefront. And believe me, an inaccessible website is the new missing ramp.
So what are we really talking about when we say ADA website compliance? It's all about making sure that your website, your digital front door, is usable by everyone, no matter their abilities. Let's dig in.
Okay, so in practice, ADA website compliance means designing your digital stuff so that people with all kinds of disabilities, visual, auditory, motor, or cognitive, can use it. Now, here's something you have to understand. The Americans with Disabilities Act, the ADA, was written way before the modern internet. It doesn't have a specific rulebook for websites, but over time, the legal system has pointed to a very, very clear standard. And that gold standard is called the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, or WCAG for short. You'll probably hear people talk about WCAG 2.1 Level AA. Just think of this as the universal yardstick. It's the benchmark that pretty much everyone, courts, regulators, and developers use to figure out if a website is truly open for business.
Now, what's really great about these guidelines is they aren't some crazy technical manual that's impossible to understand. Nope, they're built on 4 core principles that are actually pretty simple to grasp. And even better, they come with a handy acronym to help you remember them. POU. Let's walk through it.
First up, P is for perceivable. It's simple. Users have to be able to see or hear your content. It can't be invisible to their senses. This is exactly why we add alt text to images, so screen readers can describe them, and why we put captions on videos for folks who are hard of hearing. Makes sense, right?
Next, we've got O for operable. Can people actually use your site? It can't require someone to do something they physically can't do. For example, someone with a motor disability might not be able to use a mouse. So your whole website has to be navigable using just a keyboard. That's operability in a nutshell.
Third is U for understandable. Is your site just plain confusing? Your information and your navigation have to be clear and predictable. This means using simple language and making sure that when you click a button, it does what you expect it to do. It's all about consistency and clarity. No surprises.
And finally, R is for robust. This is a bit more technical, but it just means your content is well built so it can be interpreted by different browsers and, this is the big one, by assistive technologies. We're talking about tools like screen readers that read a website out loud. Robust code means your site speaks their language fluently.
Okay, so now we know what accessibility is. But let's get to the real question. Why should you actually care? Well, the answer is a powerful 1-2 punch. It's about avoiding some serious risks while unlocking a huge opportunity.
Let's start with the scary stuff, the risks. Not being compliant isn't just a tiny oversight, it can get you into some serious legal hot water. We're talking about expensive lawsuits, actions from the Department of Justice, and some really nasty damage to your brand's reputation. This is usually the reason that gets everyone's attention first.
And let's just bust a huge myth right now. So many people think, oh, this is just for giant corporations. That is absolutely not true. The reality is, if you are a public-facing entity, which covers pretty much every business with a website, from retailers to restaurants, you are expected to be compliant.
But this isn't just about playing defense. This is where we get to the reward. Just look at this number, 61 million. That's how many adults in the United States live with a disability. Let that sink in. This is not a niche audience. It is a massive chunk of the population with real spending power that a lot of businesses are just ignoring.
See, by making your website accessible, you're not just following a rule. You are throwing open your doors to that massive market. And on top of that, a lot of the best practices for accessibility, like clean code and a logical layout, also happen to improve your SEO and how your site works on mobile. It's a win-win that builds your brand and future-proofs your whole digital presence.
Okay, so the case for compliance is pretty clear. But how do you actually get started without getting totally overwhelmed? Well, the good news is there's a pretty straightforward path you can follow.
It really boils down to this 3-step plan. First, you assess. Use automated tools to get a quick scan. But, and this is super important, you also need to test your site with real users who have disabilities. Second, prioritize. Don't try to fix every single thing at once. Focus on the big problems first, the high-impact stuff, along with quick wins like adding that missing alt text. And third, implement. This isn't a one-and-done project. You got to assign someone to own it, train your team, and really make it a part of how you do things.
And that brings me to maybe the most important takeaway of all. Accessibility isn't a project you just finish. It's a process. Every time you add a new page, post a video, or tweak your design, you have to think about accessibility. It's an ongoing commitment to keeping those digital doors open for good.
So before we wrap up, let's just peek over the horizon. Digital accessibility isn't standing still. It's always evolving, and it's becoming a deeper and deeper part of web design and technology itself.
We're seeing some really cool developments coming. AI is getting a lot better at helping with things like automatically generating alt text. As new tech like augmented and virtual reality becomes a bigger deal, we're going to see new standards emerge to make them accessible too. And I think, most importantly, accessibility is shifting from being a legal checkbox to being a core principle of ethical, user-first design.
So let's end on this one core idea. If you remember one thing from all this, make it this. Accessible design is not just about compliance. It's about innovation. It's about creating better products for every single user, expanding your market, and building a stronger, more trusted brand. At the end of the day, it's not just good practice, it's just plain good business.